focus now on education. Senior high schools in Ghana face an imminent shutdown due to the shortage of food in their stores. Earlier this week, the Upper West Regional Chapter of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools issued a 15 July ultimatum to shut down the schools if food is not provided. In response, the Ministry of Education announced supplies will be released by Tuesday, the 12th of July. But Joy News checks revealed the schools are yet to receive the supplies. The Eastern Regional Chapter of CHAS is the latest to serve notice of a possible shutdown of schools. We'll get you that shortly and bring you those details. But first, here's a report from the Volta region. Fred Kwame reports.
Nationwide teacher union strike is taking a heavy toll on academic activities in the senior high schools. Joy News checks in some schools in the Volta region revealed that students were left unattended to as the teachers deserted the classrooms. In Maoli School, for instance, some teachers were seen around. Sections of the students were seen in their dorms with others loitering around. Some were seen participating in sporting activities while others made use of the library. The strike has also affected feeding in some schools because some kitchen workers who are classified as non-teaching staff have joined the industrial action. Students of the Awudome Senior High School were compelled to feed on their own on Saturday due to the absence of the cooks. The kitchen, however, resumed work on Sunday when staff being paid by the school returned from a funeral to cook for the students. Joy News has learned that the management of some schools in the region have communicated to parents that their wards will not be fed during the strike. The students have been relying on their provisions and food from the canteen. Some students have lamented the situation.
Everyone is on strike. Parents are spending their work money.
The students hope that the government comes to an agreement with the teachers so they return to the classrooms within the shortest possible time. Fred Kwame, Joy News.
Let's get the latest from the Eastern region, where my colleague Joseph Akable has been running checks today. Joseph, we understand that the situation is dire in the schools there in the Eastern region. What more can you report?
Yes, Ernest. In fact, there are some schools that simply have food stock that can last them for between 2 to 3 days. Specifically, we are looking at rice. And so they are looking forward to receiving the food items that the ministry has indicated has been released to them, because the fear is that if it doesn't come in time, it will mean that they will run out of food and they will simply not know what they can cook for the students, and the students would have to fend for themselves. In fact, what we found on the ground is that this has been a problem that has been around for a while now. The schools have over the period adjusted the quantities of meal that is served to students. Some of them have had to introduce new meals. In one school, they've introduced eba as part of the menu to replace kinki, because they said that maize, they've been told that maize has been in short supply for some time now. And so they introduced eba as a substitute, and now they eat kinki just once in a week, as against about twice that they used to do in the past. And so that has been how they have been adjusting. And it's one of a situation where they are simply expecting that they pick the food supplies as soon as possible.
But Joseph, there's also a problem with the kitchen, because the kitchen staff are also supposed to be part of the strike. What did you observe in the region when you visited a few of the schools there?
In fact, for a number of the places that I went to, the kitchen staff, they are actually available and cooking for the students. The teachers are the ones who were not present in the classrooms. And so for schools that run both day and boarding students, stream of students, what we noticed is that a good number of the day students actually did not show up to class. Okay. And so you just have the boarders who come over from their dormitories to classrooms, and they are just sitting there. A few of them who are writing their WASI in about 2 months' time, they are trying to study on their own, while the others, they simply sit in the classrooms, and when it's time for dining, they go and feed on the little that is available in the dining hall. And so, and that is how they are coping in the schools currently, Ernest.
Joseph, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed with the situation in the eastern region. Let's go to the Upper West region now, where the heads are counting down to the 15 July ultimatum that they gave to government. Rafiq Salam is our man there. Rafiq, what can you report? The ministry said food should be in the schools as of Tuesday, yesterday. Do you have any confirmation of receipt? Rafiq, you'd have to unmute.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm saying that there's no receipt of these food items that you are talking about. There's no scintilla actually of any food item in the region. The information that I have gleaned on indicates that the buffer stock are saying that they are going to treat the issue of the Upper West region as an agent one. And then also, so today, this afternoon, they have gotten some people into the market, at least to do some market survey, so that they will buy the items for the schools here in the Upper West region. And so by noon, that list or that price list was given to the buffer stock, and up to now, the schools have not gotten anything. But I've also visited 2 schools in the one municipality here. There was Senior High Technical School, and then also there was Senior High School. And so the students are really saying that they are really at their wit's end, because they are not being fed what they are supposed to do. Every week they are expected to do to eat at least tozafi for only one time, but nowadays every day it's either TZ or rice that they are giving them, and so the students have a lot of concern that they are likely going to get beriberi. And so some of them said that they haven't prepared before they came to school, but this imminent shortage of food is really having a lot of heat on them, and so they are not able to concentrate at classes.
Rafiq, thank you very much. Let's come down to the central region, where we are learning that parents are even contributing monies in some of the schools to support feeding. Richard Kojonyako, what more are we learning from the region?
That's exactly the case. If you come to the grade A schools, parents come together because there are no teachers involved in the PTA now. We have the parent association, so they have come together because there have been concerns from their children who attend such schools that the quantity and the quality of food served them at the dining hall leaves much to be desired. And so some of the parents even complained that some of their wards, when they came home, they had actually lost weight, and it was actually also affecting academic work. So at PTA meeting, they agreed. And so for Wesley Girls, for instance, a parent had to part with 500 Ghana cedis. And so they got a feedback from their children that as soon as the monies were paid, the quantity of the food and the quality of the food increased. And so they were very, very happy. And it is not only in that particular school, but we understand it's in most of the grade A schools in the central region. For the grade B and the grade C schools, we do not know what, because the demand of such money would be met with some stiff opposition, and so they are not even going that. So now what is happening in such schools is that there are petty thievery, and so the authorities are saying that the reports they receive from the hostel masters and then the boarding house authorities indicate that people break into the chop boxes of their colleagues simply for food and not for any other thing, and so they have had cause to deal with that. And so that is the situation currently, but they have not also taken any receipt of the food that the ministry has been talking about, that they had they had made a car or vehicle to bring such food items to the schools in the central region.
Richard, thank you very much. So that's the situation in our senior high school.